Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes. Created from the cosmic legends.
My knuckles are hairy. Jesus.
Not such a bad thing. It'd be way worse if my knuckles were hairy. Welcome back to DC Movie News, friends. It's a Moxie kind of day, although it might be a Moxie hijack kind of day because I do believe we have a friend joining us in a bit.
Might be a Johnny Jack.
Might be how do you John into the Moxie? Johnoxy? I got to work on that. I'm Roxy Striar alongside Mikey Christmas, Mike Kalinowski.
Well, hello, everybody.
Are you itchy?
Afternoon. No, it's the beard. I'm just, I just play with it.
Oh, my brother right now believes that if he doesn't grow his beard out until until basketball season resumes, that the Celtics will lose. It's like this, and I cannot talk to him without him just rubbing his beard back.
Is the beard? So he thinks if he cuts it before the Celtics come back, the Celtics are going to lose.
Yes.
Are the Celtics even good anymore since Larry Bird left? I don't. That's probably the most I know about the Celtics is Larry Bird. Right?
Wow.
Larry Bird.
What year did Larry Bird leaving, Mike?
He left? He's not with them anymore?
Was it a couple of years ago? When was that?
Just a couple of years ago? Okay, so I'm not too bad.
That was the joke. That was the joke, Mikey Christmas. Yes, Jonny Loquasto will be joining us in a bit from the road, I believe. And Adam Gertler wishes he could be here, but he's too busy maintaining his sausage. Yes, you heard
gotta feed
that
the people.
Right.
Gotta feed the peeps.
Gotta feed the people. Our amazing producer is here as well, Ryan Nilsson. Hi, Ryan. Cool.
Hey y'all.
Good
Oh my god. Sorry guys. Hey Zoom was muted. People were talking, but I'm so psyched to be here for DC Movie News.
We got a big another big news week. This is, I'm going to say, 3 or 4 weeks in a row that we've had a lot of news going on.
Yeah.
And I will say that thank you to the news this week for waiting until before our show to drop instead of afterwards, because I'm going to tell them what it was.
Well, I'm going to say I didn't look. I knew what it is, but I didn't read it because I wanted to read it today, right now, with you guys. I wanted to hear the sweet dulcet tones of Roxy Striar feeding me it in my ears.
When you say you want, okay, well, I will read it to you with my sweet dulcet tones. Then, Mikey Christmas. No, it sounds too weird. Guys, this is an interesting one, and I definitely want to get both Mikey and Ryan's take on this. They're bringing a Gotham PD show to HBO Max that is produced by Matt Reeves and is in the same universe as the Batman. That was the massive news that dropped today. Kind of wild. Also, in TV Time news, we will be talking about the new Batwoman casting as they cast a badass bisexual Black female lead, which I can't wait to break down as well. Then there's some updates on the Ray Fisher situation that we definitely want to get into, as he is a friend of the show and we want to show our support to him. And Wonder Woman had some new looks, and I'm so excited for that movie still. So keeping Wonder Woman and the hope alive that we get that movie in 2020, plus a whole lot more. So stay tuned today on DC Movie News. But let's get into this first story, Mike, because I got to know your thoughts on Gotham PD.
I might have thoughts.
You see the title come up, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing THR, Variety, Deadline, everybody's reporting Gotham PD.
Right.
And then you hear that this is a Matt Reeves thing and in the Batman universe. Mm-hmm. Is your initial, I'm talking about your gut initial, is it yes or is it uh-oh?
No, it is 100% yes. 100% this was what we should have gotten with Gotham. When Gotham was announced, we figured it was going to be based on the Gotham PD, the GCPD storyline, the comic run of that was all focused on the police. Batman would pop in every now and then. The villains would pop in every now and then, but it was focused on Gotham Central. That's what it is. I'm sorry. I was blanking on it. Gotham Central, that series of books, which is so damn good. It's basically like Law and Order, but with the cops, the people that deal on the streets every single day, living in the shadow of a person like Batman with these villains. This is what we wanted. And this might not be the story, but it seems like this is more of what everyone wanted. Fandom wanted 10 years ago, 8 years ago that Gotham came out. And Gotham took a life of its own and did its own thing.
And did beautiful things.
You loved it, Rox, and some people didn't.
A lot
but the fact that it's Matt Reeves in that, it strikes me, it's very interesting that stuff like this happens. Like we got that Trench spinoff with Aquaman. We've got an Amazon spinoff with Wonder Woman. It seems like these filmmakers and the DC execs are loving what's being laid out to them and say, hey, how can we expand this? And they're letting the filmmakers go, well, if you want to expand, this is how you would expand it without messing what we're doing. It brings it enlarges the world. My thoughts.
I definitely have thoughts of my own, but before I get to those, I do want to, perfect timing. I do want to say hello to our dear friend, Jonny Loquasto in the house. Jonny, that doesn't look like a car.
I'm sorry?
That doesn't look like a car. I thought we were on the road.
Oh no, I'm no longer on the road. I achieved my destination. I reached it. I'm in Belmar, New Jersey, so I currently have tropical storm hair. It's a little windy out.
It looks pretty
Belmar,
amazing.
New Jersey, buddy. What are you doing there?
Visiting a close friend from college. I'm hopping around up north right now, just visiting people and staying out of Florida. That's what I'm doing.
Good man. Good man.
I will say I'm very glad that you are here for this show today, and I want to get your thoughts on this Gotham PD spinoff. I know we're throwing you right in after you've been on the road, but there's a spinoff that's coming from Matt Reeves producing it. It's in the same world as the Batman, and it's called Gotham PD. What is your initial reaction to that?
Oh, he froze. That's his reaction, Roxy.
Doesn't it look like his face is about to say something really serious?
No, he sounds like what is being released? What?
Should we take a guess based on knowing Jonny for 6 years on this show? Okay. What do we think?
He's back. We back, Jonny?
Yeah, it says my connection's unstable. I mean, I'm on 5G, so I should be okay.
It's
not the bad kind of 5G. I hope not. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, you tell us what you feel, and when we can't hear you, we'll fill in the blanks. It will be like Mad Libs. Go ahead. Okay. Jonny, you with us?
I am.
Yes.
I think.
We hear you. We hear you.
Tell us what you're thinking.
My first thought is, Gotham just ran for 5 seasons on Fox. Now, granted, I did not consistently watch Gotham, but at the same time, it all lasted longer than any of us thought it would. I remember when Gotham first started, DC Movie News Live was already a thing, and we all said, I don't know, this might not last past a season. And sure enough, it ran the whole gamut. It told the story. And so to have Gotham PD coming out, my question is, how different is it going to be? I can't imagine we're going to have Bruce Wayne as a kid again. It's going to have to be a totally different animal, I would imagine.
I wonder if there even is a Bruce Wayne.
No, I
don't
think
series.
there is, because it's set in his world. There is a Batman's already established. I think this will be the Gotham Central of film and TV. I think.
Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, what are your thoughts on this as a massive DC fan as well? Was it excitement when you heard about this?
Holy cow. I kind of lost my mind at it this morning. I think this is such an amazing idea, and I think they're capitalizing on something that Marvel hasn't really done well yet, where they've done an amazing job doing the cinematic universe, but when it's crossing over from TV to movies, it's like we haven't really seen Falcon and Winter Soldier yet. We haven't seen how it's gone, and I think they're doing that with this Matt Reeves Batman. I'm psyched to hear if we're going to get all this cast from this Batman movie, that we're getting some big actors, and it's HBO Max. We're going to have quality. I could not be more excited.
I'm excited. I have some slight concerns, and I'm a little confused as well. I'm excited, but I'm concerned because I know that this might be a perfect time for this, but right now we see left and right police shows are getting canceled because it's not necessarily what people want to watch right now or support. And I understand that Gotham is not a real city, but obviously it pulls from a lot of cities that we know, the New Yorks and Chicagos of the world. And I'm curious the timing of this announcement that we're announcing in DC, something that's focused on Gotham Central. I think that that's interesting. I wonder what they're going to do with that. I don't think you can really not address it. I think that it's good that it's on HBO Max, so that it will have the room to really talk about some of these darker things in a way that Gotham wasn't able to do, being a Fox show. And I'm also curious about the fact that we don't know what Matt Reeves' universe even is yet. And we now have this spinoff show. So I have to assume that Warner Brothers likey what they see so far. And so they're like, yes, we want to see more of that in the TV universe. However, what does this mean for DC Universe, considering this is going to HBO Max? Same thing with Stargirl going to CW. What does this mean for the other DC shows that are not in the same universe? Obviously, you can do that because you're DC, so you have all different universes, but just a lot of questions going on in my head. Excitement, but questions. Mikey, you seem concerned with my concerns.
No, you make up a good point about the current climate, I should say. I don't know. I don't think I think that's foremost on most TV shows' minds right now, of what content, especially with these, because police procedurals do very well. They're very well received. And I think everyone's like, ooh, do we want to make those anymore? So clearly there was something in this pitch that said, yep, we're going to go with this.
Right.
I mean, and predominantly in DC, and, the cops are not any better than the criminals, and that's the reason for people like Gordon and Batman, because there's the corruption in the police department. Maybe they're going to address it, kind of like what Watchmen does. Watchmen was a little bit of a precursor, and there were still police in it. It was a police show. It was a police show, and it plays better now than it did 5 months ago. So yeah, I think they knew. I think Watchmen was a very good kind of litmus test, and I think marrying police and superhero crime and supervillains. Yeah, I think, and it's HBO, so I think they push the edge. So. And
they have their finger on the pulse a lot of the time too. Yeah, so I don't think it's just going to go over their head. Johnny, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think you guys both nailed it. I mean, without question, it's HBO Max. It's going to be gritty. Watching Watchmen, you could see how just incredibly surreal that show was. And I think, like Mike said as well, a lot of the times the police in Gotham are a complete disaster. I don't think that's going to change. I think it's going to tell that story. And I think ultimately good will hopefully triumph over evil. And my other thought is, with all these awesome shows and different forms of content, Zack Snyder's Justice League coming to, HBO as well, you have to wonder, DC Universe may have to knock down their monthly charge a couple of bucks, because I mean, they have a great catalog, but at the same time, can they really say that what they're putting out with original content is going to be better than what HBO is doing? People right now can only afford so much. I mean, the whole country and internationally, people are going through a lot with COVID. And quite frankly, we don't know when this is going to end. A lot of people don't know when they're getting their jobs back. So if you have to choose between how much you could spend per month on entertainment, where do you go?
This is a statement that was made by Matt Reeves following the announcement of the project. I want to get your thoughts on. He said, quote, "This is an amazing opportunity, not only to expand the vision of the world I am creating in the film, but to explore it in the kind of depth and detail that only a long form format can afford. And getting to work with the incredibly talented Terrence Winter, who has written so insightfully and powerfully about worlds of crime and corruption, is an absolute dream." Does that spark anything for either of you?
Is he the writer of their film, or is he just a new brought on voice?
Interesting. I don't know. Let me check it out. Yeah, and let us know in the chat.
Seems like he's someone that knows the world of Gotham that they're creating. Clearly, they created something that struck a chord, and it's like, okay, this is going to be good. We want to. There's more to this. There's more. Because I've always said that it's like Gotham itself. When we talk about shared universes and building an MCU and the DC. Batman itself is its own kind of microcosm. It has the potential to branch off and be its own cinematic universe, the Batman film. And that's what it seems now what it's doing. And the fact that we're doing, the crisis of all these different Earths, this could be a very different, Gotham it's its own thing.
So to address your question, I don't believe he is. We know him from Sopranos, of course, as the EP, but I guess he also EP'd Boardwalk Empire, and he EP'd Vinyl, which I was unaware of.
So he's not the writer. He's the guy that's going to be like kind of show running it.
Well, he's also a writer, as he wrote multiple episodes of Boardwalk Empire, Vinyl, Sopranos, and also wrote the screenplay for The Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, then he knows that kind of world. So
yeah,
that's the guy you want there.
Also, kind of fun that he was a co-producer on Sister, which was a show that I absolutely adored. With Tia and Tamara
Lowry.
Laundry, yeah.
It was close. Did never watch an episode of that one, but
I'm just saying it's a little.
That
bit
was your jam.
World,
that was little Roxy's jam.
Also, shout out to Taj Mowry, their brother. Very nice guy.
He's a smart guy. Do.
Yeah.
No, where were you guys? In
college. Probably. It's so funny. I talk a lot of DC with people on Twitter and stuff, and I'll talk about we were talking a lot about Batman Forever right now. They're like, I was just born. I remember, that was the year I came out. And I was just like, oh.
And Mike's like, I had facial hair.
I think I was starting college.
And Mike's like, I had a full beard when that came out.
Okay, come on, Ryan. You're with me on Smart Guy, right?
Yeah, what's wrong with those people, though, that were born around there? I feel like those are also good people.
Yeah, they are good people. What are you guys saying about those people?
Yeah, let's
love them.
What's happening? Thank you. All right, let's move on. We'll continue, obviously, to hear news about what's going on with this spinoff. I'm excited to hear more about it. But for now, let's talk a little Wonder Woman because we got a reveal. Wow, what was that?
That's the 70s Wonder Woman theme song. We're doing TV shows that are dating us. What I'm going to do is
sound like it. Right, Wonder Woman 1984 revealed its new theme song by Mike Kalinowski. Oh, no, wait, that's not what it says.
For a second there, I was like, what? Theme song's coming out?
I'm going to dub the trailer with that soundbite.
Wonder Woman.
Got it.
All the world is waiting for you and the wonders that you do in your satin tights, fighting for our rights and the red, white, and blue.
And I'll follow it up with a Roxy Striar classic.
Was my jam.
Allow me to follow those lyrics with a Roxy Striar classic. Blurred lines go to Jamaica.
How you wanna to Jamaica? Blurred lines.
Still don't know the words.
Oh, God, that was 3-4 years ago.
Still don't know the words. All right, guys, we did reveal a new look at the Amazon Olympics. So if you want to check this out, it was a pretty cool image of some of the younger Amazonians. What is that called? Javelin? Shot
yes,
put?
Javelin.
Sure.
The shot put is this.
Oh,
you put the chin. You put the ball on your chin.
All right,
Javelin is the stick.
They were doing that. Patty Jenkins talked to Empire and she said, what I love about the Amazon Olympics is everything that we got to really celebrate in the first movie. Here are these people who are incredibly powerful and capable, but different in how they approach things. If you've been training for hundreds of years because of an impending invasion, you're going to be constantly working on all these skill sets. So to me, every year, they would have these Olympics to see who's doing the best on horses or swimming the fastest and seeing new tricks people have figured out. Which is kind of cool. I like the big Empire photo. I mean, how old do you guys think that girl is in the photo? She looks like a legitimate child with the javelin. You
but
guys
she
know
could
what I'm
be.
talking about?
Yeah,
she could be 350.
Yeah, that's true. We just don't know. Know. So I thought that these were cool. What about you guys? Mikey, how are you feeling about these photos?
Nice. Was this the one? These are officially released, right?
By Empire, yeah.
Because I saw some pictures. I guess there was a calendar coming out and they put some pictures up and they weren't the highest quality, but it was like Steve Trevor in like an 80s shirt. And I loved it. Because I used
You're
to
going to buy the shirt?
I think I had one of those. I think I had it with my Z Cavaricis.
Well, if you still owned it, then you probably get a pretty penny for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, who is it? Must pick up.
No, I can't pick up. It's my best friend.
Gotta pick up. Put him on the spot. I saw one of these photos for Empire. Did you guys see where there's a series of more photos?
No.
Okay, so it was just the young Olympian.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's that. Hope you guys enjoyed that picture as we move forward to talking about Ray Fisher. Our friend Ray, who was hinting that an NDA is what's preventing him from saying more about Joss Whedon. I know on this show we have talked multiple times about wanting to know more clearly what's going on after hearing that Joss Whedon's treatment on set was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
But this is what Fisher said in an Instagram Live with a Q&A with fans. He said, I'm still very much under contract and I'm still very much under a non-disclosure agreement. So I've got to be careful about what I say and how I say it. Otherwise, I can get sued into oblivion. So just a disclaimer there. For the folks who were looking for more specifics in the moment right now, I'm sorry that I cannot give them to you in the moment right now. Just got to make sure all your ducks are laid out in a row so you can go ahead and handle the situation appropriately so you don't end up being outside of professionally liable, legally liable, or anything that could be litigious or whatever that would be. This will take some time. We will get it done. We will win. And then we'll be able to move on in the world. That's it. Jonny, coming to you. What are your thoughts on Ray Fisher saying this?
Also, to follow up what you said, I love Ray Fisher's follow-up quote when someone asked him, what if you did receive more clout if you got sued for speaking publicly? And Ray's response was just so professional, and I give him so much credit. He said, keep the clout, keep the fame. I'd be happy doing theater in the mountains of Oregon in obscurity. He said, I'm fine with that. If this is the only thing I'm blessed to do, I'm fine with that, because what's going to be a wilder process than what this has been, which is true. I mean, don't forget, Ray didn't really have a lot of credits. He came on the show and said, yo, I'm a theater kid and now I'm a superhero. Like, that's an amazing rise to stardom. And he's proven himself time and time and again to be just a tremendous human being, an amazing choice for Cyborg. And clearly he wouldn't have come out and said this if he didn't have very strong feelings about what Joss Whedon may have said or done. But we all know what an NDA is like. The three of us have all signed NDAs before. You cannot say exact specifics. What Ray said is, hey, he wasn't a cool dude. I didn't like working with him. I'm not the only one. That's all he has to say. I give him credit for even speaking out to that extent. The question is, what will we hear down the road? That's going to be very intriguing.
I'm kind of surprised that he was even allowed to say as much as he did say, if he has an extreme NDA on this. Mike, what are your thoughts?
I'm curious why they had to sign NDAs. Like, aside from, hey, this is a film, you can't talk about the film you're shooting. Like, you can't put pages of your script on the internet. You can't go on talk shows and say, hey, well, Cyborg saves the day. I'm like,
I think it's probably very, very common, especially in current day.
Yeah,
that if
I mean,
you're
I
signing
can't say
onto
that.
a
Like, I've
franchise,
never been onto a franchise like that where I've been days. And I think maybe he, there is a clause down at the bottom that says you cannot talk about, negatively about the production in any way or something like that. I would say, is like, is this one of those things was signed when he signed his contract, or was this like, hey, Joss is coming in, we're signing NDAs now? Like,
obviously I don't know the answer, but I would have to assume it's when he started. I don't think when Joss came on, Joss's people
but
had
then
him.
is there legal going, well, he wasn't part of this original contract, he wasn't part of this original crew, this is a new crew.
Maybe
like that's what lawyers are for. They deal with that, but the fact that it's like, oh yeah, I don't know, like how many times you hear stuff talked about performers where there is no person, well, I signed an NDA, all the stuff that was about Lea Michele and all that came out, and all the Harvey Weinstein stuff. It's like,
but what would have to happen there, Mike, I think, is at a certain point, even if you have a NDA that does not lapse about Lea Michele and you can't say anything, when you speak out, the thing you're at risk of is her suing you. And if you say something, if right now in this current climate, I don't remember the girl's name the woman's name who did speak out first about Lea Michele. But she was a Black woman who spoke out about Lea Michele and said that Lea Michele told her that she was going to crap in her wig. And then other people came forward. Now, in order for Lea to say that that's libel, she would have to sue her, which I think would make her look horrible now. Like, I think that she probably knew if Lea wants to take action on this, she's going to sue me, and she can sue me. You can sue anybody for anything. But like, I think that probably that's what Ray Fisher's going through right now. Is it Warner Brothers that would sue him? Is it Joss that would sue him for libel?
The thing too to think about, Roxy, is like, okay, is this going forward? Like, is this something that these people that are not good, like what's his name, Larry Lenkoff, the guy from CBS that just got let go from MacGyver and Hawaii Five-0,
I forget his name, but yes,
it's Lenkoff, something Lenkoff. People speaking out on that, there'll be people with that. It's like, will these people that are these showrunners, these actors, these directors that are problematic, will they now going into these things going, I want NDA signed on this set? I know I treat people like crap. I'm not going to get sued. I'm not going to let this come out. Like, that's you shouldn't be able to be protected.
Well,
like,
you would think that
you shouldn't be able to be protected because you're a crap human being.
But you would think that the studio would be more liable than the person because of the hire, which is why I think he brought John Berg and Jeff John's name in.
Yeah. Because it's like, Legal, it's like, well, you're just calling someone out for being not a good human being.
Yeah.
It's not like a sexual thing where there was.
Well, he says abuse, which
I mean, but if it's physical, then I don't see Joss
we don't know what it
Whedon as a
means.
physically abusive person, but who knows?
Yeah.
But just there's that fine line between, I think back to the days of the Chris Hardwick blow up with Chloe Dykstra. Like, what came out was essentially he was just an awful boyfriend. Whether he's saying, I'm threatening you, I'm going to blacklist you in the community. But then there's people that are physically abusive. And that's where the line is. Like, that's a legal line. Like, you can be a crap human being. That's your right as a person to be a crap human being. If you want to live your life being a crap human being and treat people like crap by talking down to people. But when you physically attack them, physically assault them, that's a line. And, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know it.
But Mike, you don't believe in mental abuse?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
And to be fair, a lot of other people came out and substantiated what Chloe, not to go on the Hardwick tangent, but at the same time, a lot of people came out and said, oh yeah, he's terrible. But yeah, was there a legality issue involved?
Right.
That's, the question.
Yeah, that's what we're really talking about right now is about legally speaking. Yeah.
Sure. And I think mental abuse and physical abuse, both abuses, one is easier to prove. Right. Again, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying it's mental abuse is huge. And that's why a lot of times
Warner Brothers has their work cut out for them right now, considering what's happening in this situation with Ray Fisher talking about Joss Whedon and John Berg and Jeff Johns, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation, the Ezra Miller situation. Right. The word abuse is not singular to this. And I think what you're talking about, Mike, is just the tip of the iceberg where what happens to different levels of abuse. And we're finally at a point in society where we're starting to see ramifications or repercussions for these things. And we'll see. So I don't know. And at some point, I do think we will have more information about this Joss Whedon, Ray Fisher.
Yeah, like Rox, to clarify, it seems like, I can't see if there was physical abuse on a set, like that would not have gotten addressed right away. Like if you see someone hitting a crew member, like how that doesn't or like just the constant walking into work every day. We've all been in situations where we're constantly working today. There's that one person that it gets on your last nerve. Mentally, you're just like, I can't deal with this anymore.
Mike, we really don't know because think about all those times on set where you've heard that somebody threw a chair next to somebody's head.
Right.
Like,
you're right.
Is that something that gets cut?
And then is that assault? Is that assault?
Right.
Like I think Ray Fisher, the bottom line is like, enough is enough with this. This is not the right, whether it's mental, physical, this isn't right. People shouldn't come to work dreading going to work. We shouldn't be under the thumb of a person that treats all of us like this. I'm standing up, but I've got to do it the right way.
Yeah. Johnny, what were you saying?
Yeah. To put a bow on this, Ray said he's feeling very optimistic about it because he said, regardless at the end of the day, whether or not I'm allowed to say certain things now, he said there is no way that stuff does not come to light down the road. Because he said he's not the only person that feels this way. So it's going to be just a waiting process to see what it is. But
yeah. And if he has an NDA, obviously more of them have an NDA. So I will say that we don't know right now, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments and in the chat. Let us know what you guys are thinking, both about this and everything we talk about on today's show, including Gotham PD. Are you excited for that? The Wonder Woman reveals of the Amazon Olympics. Did you love that? What are you thinking about the Ray Fisher NDA, Joss Whedon situation? Tell us your thoughts. And don't forget, while you're here, we have over 215 people watching live. So get those thumbs up, 62 thumbs up. I know we can hit 100 by the end of the show. And also, I did see a lot earlier. We had a super chat come in. Thank you, Matthew W., who said Gotham was one of the best DC shows in years. That's my boy.
Some people love it.
I love
some
that
people
show.
Don't.
Moving on, although I don't really want to move on from talking about how much I love Gotham, but I guess we can. Warner Brothers exec says that there have been no conversations about releasing a Schumacher cut. All right. Is this news?
No.
Okay.
And honestly, and look, I'm Mr. Positivity. You know me. It does not take a lot to entertain me. I'm not a critic, but how many people want a 170-minute version of Batman Forever or Batman and Robin?
Here's the thing, and I've been kind of tiptoeing around this online for the past couple of days because I don't want to gatekeep about it. But if you're in fandom, if you're in DC world, if you're of a certain age, there's certain people, younger people like Roxy yourself, you probably didn't know what were you, 5 years old around the time Batman Forever came out? 4, 3, maybe, if that.
What year was it?
95.
95? Yeah, I was 4.
Yeah.
I'm 91.
But if you are a part of the culture of DC, you love DC, you follow DC, this Schumacher cut is nothing new.
Did you call it the Schmucker cut?
The Schmucker cut. Yeah.
Okay.
This cut is nothing new. And it's not, we need to address this. It wasn't like Schumacher was taken off of this film and they re-edited it. He had his cut of the film, and like every director, they had to get it down to a certain time. Things weren't working. The flow didn't work. So they cut out stuff. The script is out there. There are pictures, the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray. It's all there. Stop making this like, and I knew younger people that run websites, they're like, oh, we discovered this scoop in this hidden vault in Warner Brothers, the classic Batman Forever Schumacher cut. Never existed. It was his film. There was no alternate cut. It's his film that he cut stuff out of. And it is a darker film, sure, but they were happy, Warner Brothers, with this film because they wanted to get away from the darkness of Batman Returns. That's why they brought in Schumacher. They didn't fight for Tim Burton to come back. They did what he wanted. It went on to be hugely successful, that film. It's not a secret cut. It's out there.
All right.
Just look it up.
All
it's
right.
out
All
there.
right.
I just off my soapbox, but it just sucks.
We'll talk about a cut that we are going to see that we're excited to see, and that is the Snyder Cut. And this was interesting because Joe Russo, one of the Russo brothers, was talking about the Snyder Cut. And he said, quote, I think it's always great when a director's original vision can find its way to the screen. And then he went on to say, we have been very, very fortunate in our careers that everything we did for Marvel, we would call our director's cuts. So that's kind of interesting. He also explained, and by the way, this is to comicbook.com. He said they as in Marvel were very gracious and deferential and very supportive of our vision for those movies. And there's nothing sitting on the editing room floor that we suddenly want back into those films. We worked very hard at what the current cut of those movies are. So we're very fortunate to have released our director's cut on all 4 of those films. I will just chime in here and I will say that I think that when your movies are well received, it's easy to not question what, if, but, however. I'm sure there is stuff on the cutting room floor that if those movies weren't received well, that they would have liked to add back in. So I do think they're in a different situation, but I like when directors support other directors, and I'm glad to see that the Russo brothers want the Snyder Cut released as well. Mikey, what are you thinking?
Roxy, I agree with you. I think they knew what they were doing since they joined with Winter Soldier. And I think it's interesting because some of the scenes that are on their deleted scenes, you realize like, oh yeah, this shouldn't have been in the film. Like there was a whole scene with Smart Hulk rescuing people out of a burning building that just didn't look right. They were going to introduce Smart Hulk at the end of Infinity War with him and Nat. We're going to have a scene, and that's online right now, and it doesn't play well. It's like, oh no, it was much better with him showing up as the Smart Hulk where he's at the diner in Endgame. It's a great kind of reveal. They knew these characters. They knew the world. I don't think any of us left dissatisfied after the Endgame Infinity War saga. No one was like, oh, I wanted this. I wanted to see this. There was like an alternate cut of Hawkeye and Black Widow on Vormir that nowhere near as good as what was in the film. So yeah.
Jonny,
but it's cool that they showed support. It's cool they show support.
I mean, I think if we want to break it down to something really simple, the underlying message behind what the Russo brothers are saying here is that it's not that fun to work for Warner Brothers compared to Marvel Studios.
I don't know if that's true because I think it's like, think about how many directors have had Disney issues. Just think about it.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, gosh, you look at Scott Derrickson leaving Doctor Strange. He's like, yeah, I'm out. And
who's Ant-Man homie too?
Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Originally Edgar Wright. Yeah, there's a I think
because I hear you. I think for them,
I think the thing is Marvel has their vision. They have a let's call him the Godfather in Feige. And he knows what they have to get to, what point A to point B to point C, and you kind of need to fall in with that, you know. Whereas some of these other filmmakers are like, I want to do this, and
you're going to trust somebody on their 4th film more too. So I'm sure they didn't have people breathing down their neck. So Jonny, you're not wrong. I just think that also. I don't know that working for any massive studio is like a real hoot.
Right.
But it seems like to say this though, it seems like the new leadership at Warner Brothers, the people under Sandberg and Patty Jenkins and Matt Reeves going forward, they love this new group because they're like, yeah, we want to give you more content. We kind of want to keep working with you. So there was a change. We're kind of like that post Kevin Sujihara and all that.
Yeah, Andy C reminding us that Patty Jenkins left Marvel too. Oh yeah, for Thor. I mean, that's a good point. So,
and ultimately, it's a wait and see process. We have to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League and see if all the hype is going to be worth it. I, for one, couldn't be more excited for it, but we will find out.
Well, I think we're all pretty excited for that one, including our producer, Ryan Nelson. Ryan, any thoughts on the Russo brothers chiming in on this?
Yeah, I was just saying in the live chat, like, whoops. I was just saying in the live chat that I think the thing that's interesting whenever you're trying to make a movie, you want the storyteller directing your movie to be on the same page with the studio and for you both to be satisfied with it and hopefully have a successful product. And I think the thing that's been so invigorating and infuriating about the whole Snyder Cut thing is that regardless of what you thought of Man of Steel and BVS, they were successful movies. So the Snyder Cut Justice League was also probably going to be a successful movie, but we'll never know because they tampered with it so much. And these other films that weren't as successful, it doesn't seem like, they were as properly removed like Snyder was.
Right.
So that's what's made this cut so interesting, and I can't wait to see it.
You guys let us know what you're thinking in the chat. Did you like what the Russo brothers said? Do you want to see the Snyder Cut? I'm assuming if you're watching the show, you probably do. Also, don't forget that thumbs up. We're at 81 thumbs up and 236 watching live right now, so get those thumbs going. While we move on to my favorite time of the show. Mike, you want to do theme music for this one?
It's time for Roxy Striar TV time. Roxy Striar TV time. We're gonna get that TV time. Roxy Striar TV time. Roxy TV time.
All the girls think Johnny's fine.
I was singing my
so
own.
Divine. Also, Mikey Christmas time.
I thought you wanted a new song.
No, I did. It was a good new song, but then I wanted your names to be included in the song.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was doing a full new Roxy verse.
It was just a Roxy verse. Yeah. Well, it's Johnny. Did you like it?
I was gonna say that the tropical storm just picked up. I had to block out the song.
I don't miss those, but I know exactly what you're going through right now, Johnny. I just look at you. I can tell you're like the sweating from the humidity out there. I can tell. Oh.
Remember that time that 6 years into this show, Mike told us he was from New York?
You did, Johnny. You knew I was from New York, right?
Didn't you tell us
the Snyder Cut came out? So like, the Snyder Cut's coming out. I'm from New York.
Wait, whoa! I thought you just told us like 3 weeks ago you were from Florida.
Florida, I know.
I grew up in Florida.
I was born in New York. Johnny, you weren't on the show. This is what happened. It was Mikey, Adam, Ryan, and I. And Mike just casually was like, "Yeah, and I'm from New York." And we were like, no, that's Adam. And he was like, no, I'm from New York. I was like, no, I'm from Boston. He was like, no, I'm from New York. You're from Florida, Mike. But apparently not. He's been lying to us all the time.
I was born in New York. I was raised in Florida.
Okay.
I don't claim Florida.
You Jax in the chat says Roxy is too demanding. Sorry, Mike.
She is. Yes, she is. Roxy's way too demanding.
Well, I demand we talk about some TV time news because this is a big one, guys.
Yes, it's huge.
Javicia Leslie is cast as the new Batwoman. No, not Kate Kane, but the new Batwoman on CW's Batwoman. And this is going to be an interesting transition for those who are Batwoman fans because we're seeing a new character with her who is supposed to be a little bit goofier. Ryan Wilder is her name. She's described as likable, messy, little goofy, untamed, nothing like Kate Kane, the woman who wore the batsuit before her, which obviously was Ruby Rose.
Yep.
And they say that she has no one in her life to keep her on track, that she spent years as a drug runner, dodging the GCPD and masking her pain with bad habits, that she lives in a van currently with a plant, and she would steal milk for an alley cat and could kill you with her bare hands. They said that she's the most dangerous type of fighter, highly skilled, wildly undisciplined. She's an out lesbian, and the actress that they cast is a bisexual actress. They say she's athletic, raw, passionate, fallible, and not very much your stereotypical all-American hero. So kind of fascinating. Here was her quote on getting cast. She said, "I'm extremely proud to be the first Black actress to play the iconic role of Batwoman on television. And as a bisexual woman, I'm honored to join this groundbreaking show, which has been such a trailblazer for the LGBTQ plus community." I think that definitely every single headline, they tried to get ahead of what they didn't last time, obviously, with the Ruby Rose situation. Everybody's saying that Ruby Rose was not gay enough. And for those of you listening on Apple Podcasts,
What
that
the
was
hell
the
does
quote.
that mean?
You don't remember when everybody said that to Ruby
I
Rose?
do, but what the hell is
what does it mean?
Gay
We don't
enough
know.
mean?
But that's why the majority of headlines started with like bisexual woman cast, because they wanted you to know she's part of the
Well, it's
LGBTQ
funny.
plus community.
Yeah, I'm
What's
very curious. Well, not funny. It's very curious because the character of Kathy Kane, in the comics, as a lesbian, that her sexuality is known. But here we are creating a new character. They didn't need to go that route with it. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm curious about that, Mike, too, because obviously Kate Kane in the show is a lesbian as well.
Right.
And now they have a bisexual actor playing a lesbian character that is not Kate Kane. And I wonder, do you think they're going to introduce her in some kind of...
I think the reasoning was, well, okay, here we are. We finally got a lesbian lead character on the show. The actress leaves. We've got to do this now. Okay, well, we don't want to cast a character being straight because then that takes away a role that we created, a vacancy of a lead person's sexuality that's not straight. So it took it away. So I see, and I applaud that the fact that, they're still keeping that, what they created with the original intent of Batgirl.
And if they're thinking like that, Mike, probably leading Legends of Tomorrow is a bisexual woman. So they probably wanted to have diversity in what kind of LGBTQ plus they were showing members of the community. And so Sarah Lance, obviously being a bisexual woman, being the lead of the other show.
Is she in real life as well? Or
it's interesting. She really will not talk about it.
Okay.
She's been asked about it.
That's her right.
She's been asked about it multiple times. I think she is rumored currently to have a boyfriend, but that doesn't mean that she isn't bisexual.
That's a rabbit hole. I mean, we've talked a little bit about this show. I'm of the fact that an actor should be able to play a role regardless of sexual orientation, but I understand that the opportunities have not been the opportunities of me as a straight white man is infinitely more than a gay man in Hollywood. So I definitely see that side as well. But I don't think an actress should be questioned about their sexuality when they get cast in a role. So I'm glad that Katie Leutz is treating it like that. Like, hey, not your business.
Yeah, she just really doesn't
talk
about
it. My life is my life. I think that's great. This actress came out and said, hey, this is what I am. Proud to represent it. Let's do it. I love the fact that I'm on board with the whole, instead of recasting the character, they've created a new character. That I am 100% on board for. I think it's easier. I think it's easier to explain. And hey, it brings the door open. It leaves it open for Ruby Rose if she ever wants to come back. It leaves it open,
Jonny, what are you thinking?
Congratulations to her. I mean, I love the fact that, she doesn't have an extensive resume, but she's had a great couple of years. Family Business is a show. She's on 8 episodes there. I see.
God Friended Me. She was one of the stars of,
Yeah, over 40 episodes there. And this is really the perfect timing for her. Apparently she has Muay Thai boxing and some combat training, which obviously will all come in handy here. And when it comes down to it, these are superheroes. Superheroes can be any race, creed, color, background, and it's fantasy and it's action, and good for her, man. Like, I'm excited to see it. I don't know much about her as an actress because I don't really get a chance to watch much television, but clearly she auditioned and she is the choice they went with. Remember when Gal Gadot got cast? A lot of people were questioning, oh my God, can she play Wonder Woman? And she's arguably been the greatest actor in the DC universe as Wonder Woman. So
Jonny, on that, something I love about this is with the few credits that she has, and I'm not saying it's not a lot because she has more obviously than a lot of people do, but doesn't have a stacked resume. This obviously wasn't a straight offer. She obviously had to go in and audition, and that means that she was the best for the role. So you think not true, Mike?
No, Rox, I'm 100% because we had a little bit of a debate when Ruby Rose was cast, because I know you were gung ho on her and I was not. I looked at it that it was a stunt casting. Like, she didn't need this role. Like, she was a prominent lesbian actress. So I love the fact that this casting, we didn't know her per se a lot. She's not out there. She's not well known. I love this. I love the casting office because they do that a lot. They give Stephen Amell wasn't. He was on, I think, Grey's Anatomy, and he had a couple shows he was on, but I really didn't know him before Arrow. Grant Gustin was on Glee,
and that.
But I love Grant Gustin. Like, I love giving these actors a chance because the character will sell it, the show will sell it. Come in and that allows us to, like, Ruby Rose. Also, she was coming off of Orange is the New Black, John Wick 2. Like, I had a preconceived notion of this actress, so that every time I saw her on screen, it kind of was larger than the character. This actress, it can embrace the role, and I can go and this is the role for me. I 100% love that they didn't go with a hugely a well-known kind of out there actress.
Well, Ruby Rose apparently loved it as well, as she took to Instagram and posted a photograph of Javicia and said, "OMG, this is amazing. I'm so glad Batwoman will be played by an amazing Black woman with a heart. I want to congratulate Javicia Leslie on taking over the Bat Cape. You are walking into an amazing cast and crew. I can't wait to watch season 2. You are going to be amazing." 2 exclamation points and a heart. Interesting that she says you're walking into an amazing cast and crew. As we have heard the rumors that the cast and crew and Ruby potentially were not seeing eye to eye on the hours or the workload. But I thought this was a very nice response. And obviously Ruby stepped away from the role, so why would she have any kind of ill will towards somebody stepping in? Yeah. She wasn't.
Ruby will be fine. Like, she's going to work again. Everyone want to work with her.
Yep.
She's got a, the clout she brings with it is well known, and she'll be fine. So to see that, she didn't have to write that. No one was asking. I'm sure some people on Twitter were like, "Ruby Rose, we demand you to tell us how you feel about this." She didn't owe anyone it,
No.
But she did. So that's great. I mean, and that's why I said earlier, I liked what she did with the role. I wasn't sold on her originally. It wasn't like, oh yes, great. But I did like what she brought and I would love for her to see her come back someday. I want that door to be open. And we've seen
I want that so bad because I love her. I love her.
All the Arrow shows. We saw when his name Colin, he played Tommy Merlin, Colin, right? I hope that's.
And also we saw it with we saw it with Arsenal and with
and those God, what was his name? He played God, what's his name? Because he was going through so much trouble personally.
Yeah, he's amazing from Teen Wolf too. I forget what his name.
I'm sorry, guys.
Right now too.
But then
you guys,
you're like,
hottest man alive.
You're like, I really like this guy. Why is he going? Why is he leaving? And then he came back.
Yeah.
So it's like, it always seems like there's an open door there for people. I would like to see her come back because I think that'd be kind of cool eventually.
I'm with you, and we would love to know what you guys think. 93 likes right now.
What was his name? It's going to drive me crazy, guys.
Yeah, you guys will tell us. What is it? If you looked it up right now and give me a hint. Look it up. Look it up and give me a hint. No, I'm talking about my person. Are you talking about your person?
I'm talking about Speedy, the guy with the great chin.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Chin that could cut glass.
Yeah, it was amazing. What is Ryan? You know
dressed up as Shrek.
You know what it is.
Halloween.
Colton Hayes. Colton Hayes. Why couldn't I come up with Colton Hayes?
Yeah, I really liked him. I was glad he was back.
Thank you, Manny Gonzalez, for letting us know that. That is so who it was. Oh, we just couldn't get there in time. But that is okay because we are running out of time right now. One more thing to talk about before we go. The deluxe Batman Beyond Blu-ray set is out for $61. I feel like this is a Mikey Christmas thing.
Is this news? I think it's been out. Did we put that as a story, or is it
I did put that as a story. I did put that as a story. It's a deluxe packaging, Mike.
Batman Beyond?
Yeah, it's a deluxe package. Did you see it? You look and
I didn't see the deluxe package.
It's got a little what is it? A Funko?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Ryan, I think that might not be news, buddy.
It came out on comicbook.com on July 8th.
I appreciate it.
On July 8th.
Okay. I think I've had that for a while though. Okay. Hey, people don't know. People might not know.
You can get it on Amazon now.
And it's maybe there's a special on it. Maybe they
39% off the original box price.
There you go.
And $1 off an all-time low. So maybe, Ryan just is trying to save money for the people.
Yeah, during this time of year.
There's 3 featurettes just about the making of the show, as well as Beyond the Joker and just a fully remastered. There's audio commentary from all the filmmakers for multiple episodes and just a lot of insight to the production and the effects. If you're stuck at home at quarantine, this might be a really great thing to buy.
Haynes, not Hayes. Haynes, not Haynes. Oh, fucking all this up today. Colton Haynes. Thank you guys for being in here in the chat and always correcting us. Thank you guys for loving Ryan, for letting you know when there are discount deals. Thank you guys for appreciating Mikey Christmas when he throws sass towards Ryan. And thank you for appreciating Johnny's hair, regardless of what's going on in New Jersey. Guys, we are getting out of here. And before we do, I want you guys to be able to keep up with us. Also, Mikey Christmas, where can people find you?
You can find me at Mike Kalinowski _.
Jay Quasto.
At Jay Quasto, of course. But most importantly, I released a new project this week that will be a weekly show. If you're into the paranormal, if you enjoy craft beverages, we combine both. It's a new paranormal podcast called Haunts and Hops. My co-hosts are Ashley Trobe and Anastasia Washington, who are both paranormal professionals. Really fun. So follow at Haunts and Hops on all social media platforms. And, if you can, go on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating or review. It's very, very, very fun. And I've been fascinated with the paranormal my entire life. And so finally I had the time to release a project like this. It's going to be pretty cool.
Paranormal professionals.
Is it like you just get drunk and you start seeing ghosts, Johnny? That sounds like it's a recipe for disaster.
It just so happens that all three of us happen to be beer geeks, and we actually got Tavour to sponsor us, which is really cool. And if any beer fans know that Tavour, they're a beer service that, it's an app that you can get beer from all over the country and then get it sent to you. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is that kind of like the soup tube idea that those girls put on Twitter?
Tube?
You didn't hear about that on Twitter?
No, I don't
want to know. Some girl, her boyfriend was trying to pitch her on a pyramid scheme of having soup tubes, and there were pipes all along the city, and you pay a subscription service to soup coming to your house. It was the worst idea I've ever heard. And this girl was like explaining to the fans, like, how do I break up with this guy? He wants me to invest in his soup tube scheme. Go look on Twitter. Just type in soup tubes on Twitter. You'll see.
No, Mike, it's definitely nothing like the soup tube, but thank you.
Oh, my God. Our amazing producer, Ryan Nilsson, is at Rye Nilsson. So
yes,
that's R-Y.
And we did hit 100 likes, by the way.
I see that. We hit 100 likes. You guys are the absolute best. Appreciate it. Don't forget to follow our boy Adam Gertler at Adam Gertler. Pick up his sausage at that's the most Jewish I've ever sounded.
Sausage.
You can get his sausage. Doghouse, please support as best as you can. And I'm everywhere at Roxy Striar. I also do a show every single day, and on Fridays it's at 2:30. So if you in 25 minutes from now are watching this live and you want to pop over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roxy Striar, I would really appreciate it. And guys, until next time, that's it for DC Movie News.
Bye, guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.